Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the day that we just speak about the things that are happening around our lives and the things that we have experienced, and just to show that every day that we wake up knowing that the devil is not in our space and we're just running with the things that we want to do. So I just want you to take a moment and just share with your friends, the people that are around you and the people that you work with and the people that normally you interact with, so that they know that things are happening and they know that there is change, and they should know that mindset change is possible. And we're talking this mindset change because it's Tuesday. As you know, we've been doing this live mentorship, free mentorship academy for the last 3.5 years. So those who are joining us for the very first time, my name is Sylvia Bimwansa, or Simply Sunshine, where I bring you mindset change every Tuesday. But otherwise, you may wish to know that every day, Monday to Friday, let me just switch off these notifications. On Monday to Friday, we come. On Monday, we've got Rev Water, who takes us in Unleashing Your Destiny. On Wednesday is a free market where we invite people to talk about their products and services wherever they are. Yesterday and on next or tomorrow, Wednesday, we are going to have, we are speaking about AI and just the things that are so possible, and how we can be able to be innovative as leaders, so that nothing is taken, for granted, or that we are equal to the task. We are ready for the things that are coming. We've had the best experience of COVID, where COVID came, things changed, and we're all just able to do the things that we were told. We had the discipline, and we also had the obedience. We obeyed what was coming on, and this is why every day we come. On Thursday, we've got Dr. Nelly with just speaking about our soul. How are we aligned to the things that we want to do, from bedroom to the boardroom, the things that happen around us? She just comes to just makes our soul be the one that is carrying us along. And on Friday, it's health tips with Dr. Jacqueline Mulundika, where we have known that even drinking water is something that we have to pay attention to. For ladies, it's 2.5. For men, it's 3 liters every day. You don't have to take them at a go, because the body will say, take me in stages. So that's why we come. So today is a very special day. It's Tuesday with Mindset Change. And I just want to excite you that we've had such an amazing time with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, where we have really been, it's been 4 days of unlearning, relearning, and just making ourselves practice the things that we want to retain. So this is why I'm so excited. We'll be waiting for the PS. He's just parking in the parking lot, and just walking up the stairs is something. But on the call, we already have Mr. Cyprian, who is the head of productivity at the ministry, and we really had a good time. It was so exciting, where people really now know each other. We just had a team of 3, and we had other people join them, so that there is this competition that encourages learning, adult learning especially, because when you're on your own, it is so challenging to learn, because you just be thinking about yourself. But because there are cocktail chats that we have all the time, it is very easy for us to speak about anything. So we discovered their names. It was so interesting. They did the things that they love to do, the things that they want to change. They came up with their names, and it was so exciting. We are doing this because we did launch the mindset change in partnership with Office of the Vice President, as well, the Department of National Guidance and Religious Affairs, who have got the mandate to drive the national principles, the national values and principles. But to do national values and principles, we need to be in a correct mindset. And this mindset is the one that we know should be able to drive us. And what is interesting, why we are so excited, is because um, national values and principles are driven through productivity. And this is why we're excited that the Ministry of Labor really came up. They were part of the launch and they said they will start the process because they want every citizen who is actually touching the resources of the nation to be in a correct mindset, in a growth mindset, so that we'll be able to drive productivity. Anyone who is productive is in the values and principles that the country wants. We have heard how many times the head of state, the ministers, the PSs speak about, for us to move, we need to have a correct mindset. And apparently there is an instruction to everyone who is working from the president to say, these are the issues that we need to be doing. So we have created hashtags, we have pulled out the values and principles which we are going to be driving as we go. But before we do that, I just want people that are watching us to just drive that they are ready to carry on the propagation with us. They are ready. Can we see those typing that we are ready to help with the principles? Are we ready? Just say yes, yes, yes. If you are not ready, I'm climbing, I'm getting ready so that we can all be a part of this. So I would like to invite, I know you're on the road, but you're equal to the task. You said you will park or you will be speaking. It's the car, the intelligent cars these days, you can speak and everyone will be able to, to understand or hear you. So yes, yes, yes. Shupi is saying yes, 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 she's ready. Yes, we are also happy to know that you are ready. Yes, yes, yes. Thompson Kapotwe is ready, and yeah, this is what we like about our coming online. You're the ones that make us come to all the time. So I just want to start with you. The diplomat. That is the name that was given to him because he's calm. He's you can't move him. He's just so eager to do things, and he does it so calmly. He was telling us that one time, how he knew that he was calm and nothing can move him is when he came, in front of a snake, a cobra. A cobra was in front of him, and he just stood there. It's like he's daring, do what you have to do because I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. And he stood there, and guess what? The snake turned and went away and ran into the direction opposite. That's when he realized that he was faced with a snake, and that bravery really inspired me, and just how people collect themselves so that nothing can happen to them. So welcome the diplomats to our call, and you are free to share how you have interacted with the Mindset Change program and just what it, or how would you want to explain to these other people that this is what happened during the Mindset Change process.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sylvia Sunshine. That's what we've come to know you by. And I wish to say good morning to everyone who's on the call. Glad that you could make it this early. I think that's what it entails to have a mindset change or shift, that we can still be able to do what we want to do without any distractions. And I'll give you, before I start talking about the course, the first time I had an interaction with what mindset change is all about was many years ago during my study in Germany. During orientation, we were taught that here we do not accept any excuse, whether it is raining, whether there's sunshine, whether there's snow, you still have to show up. And in fact, it doesn't even matter if you are sick. you have to show up. The only excuse they said maybe they may accept is if you have a heart attack, because they say if you have a toothache, you see, for a toothache to ground you, it must have given you several warnings, during which time you should have visited the dentist to deal with the problem before it grounds you. So in other words, they are saying even issues of health, you must be proactive, but you engage in preventive behavior before it grounds you. So, of course, at that time, it was very difficult to digest, because then these are the sort of excuses that we have in this part of the world. It is raining heavily. People fail to come for work. They fail to go to school. It is very hot. People fail to work. And so there are all sorts of excuses. People wake up and say, I've got this ailment or the other, so I'm not able to be able to show up. And so having to undergo now this well-structured, well-programmed mindset change program, I think for me now I should safely say is a complete package. On the first day when we started last week, I actually even gave feedback to my colleagues that I was troubled and in fact had difficulties to sleep. And on the second day, I was feeling much better, because I think I'd now resolved most of the conflicts within myself. I think that had been ignited with the first day session. Now, what this did for me, and I think it's very, very, very important maybe to share, is if you have to change your mindset, you'd have to break down your old mindset. And I think I can equate this to the sort of training that the military takes people through. And this is the reason why at the end of their training, they all more or less think in the same way. They all act in the same way. In fact, even walking, they actually walk more or less in the same way. And this, in my view, is very, very similar, because I think the first 2 days we had to break down or dismantle our old mindset before we could begin to build a new mindset. And I think that is very, very critical, because if you do not break down your old habits and begin to build or assemble new habits, it may not be sustainable. It may just be for a while, and you soon will go back to your old ways of doing things. Now, also what I learned is the mindset change process is a long-term project. I mean, the few days we underwent this rigorous training was just the beginning, because I could actually say it was maybe, say, 20% of the work towards a complete mindset shift. The 80% now remains in the hands of us, ourselves, to be able to now take charge of our mindset change journey, because we are in control of what comes into our minds, how we process it, and what comes out of our minds. In fact, our habits are formed most consciously by our very, very own thoughts and actions. And so, having gone through this program, I'm very, very challenged, because myself, I'm a productivity practitioner. So I practice and I promote productivity. And this, in my view, is, I could not, maybe let me not even call it a mindset change program. It's actually a productivity improvement program, because first and foremost, it helps you as a person become very productive. And when you are very productive as a person, there is nothing that you cannot achieve, because first and foremost, as a person, you've got, in other words, the template for success. And I think this is what Sylvia, Sunshine, and the team handed to us. And I think it's only fair that we too, as well in our various interactions, are able to hand over this template of success to the other people that we come across. When we were closing the session yesterday, one of the people that joined us, Mr. Hangala, shared a story of one farmer who believes that success only by himself will not be of any use, but that success of even those around him would be much more useful, because then they all can share in the prosperity. And I think the president has also been saying similar, making similar pronouncements regarding peace when he says, conflict elsewhere in any other part of the world is also, conflict for us here who otherwise are saying we are living in a peaceful country. And so he's been emphasizing the fact that we need to have a peaceful world if all of us are to enjoy or reap the benefits of peace. In the same way, poverty elsewhere is also poverty for all of us. We can only live and enjoy a better and prosperous world if all of us are able to help each other, lift each other out of poverty. And this is, I think, what the mindset change process is all about. One other thing I learned, I think yesterday we were joined by a couple, Mr. and Mrs. Kasonkomona, who shared that they, as a couple, actually underwent this training. And I think it does make a lot of sense, because if you are going to work as a team, then all of you would have to be on the same hymn page. I think another participant also shared how he had to have his entire, I think it was Mr. Angala, his entire family, all his children, undergo this training. In fact, was even planning that he wants to deploy this training in his own village so that all his relatives may also benefit from this kind of exposure, which for me is quite phenomenal. And I'll be glad to hear such success stories, because in our discussions about productivity, we believe that the methodologies such as this, though they work for individuals, they can also work for an enterprise, and by the same measure, they can also work for a nation. So those nations that have progressed ahead of us, some of whom were behind us at independence, you recall, Zambia was richer than some of the Southeast Asian countries like Singapore and Malaysia, if you looked at per capita income. But those today are first world countries. They transformed because they first worked on their human resource. They first transformed the mindsets of their people. Their people first had to believe that they too could be great. And indeed, they worked on themselves, and now they are some of the most competitive, most productive countries in the world. So in terms of my very quick reflections over the course, this is how I've translated it. And it also makes me reinforce my belief that with this methodology, we can solve whatever problems that beseech us, either at individual, at institutional, or even at national level. It provides us the tools. It provides the tools to be able to focus our efforts, the tools to be able to, leverage on the collaboration with others, as well as the strong belief that solutions to our problems are within our hands, and maybe better put, that the solutions are actually within our minds. So in terms of my very quick reflections this morning, Mrs. Martha, I could at this stage share that as my own experience from this exposure. And I want to thank you and your team for a very, very good job that you did. We are most of the time learning late in the evening, but it still was a very, very wonderful experience. I thank you.
Thank you so much, it even makes me have goosebumps when I'm listening to you, and just when you say this can solve all our problems if we interact with the people that are around us, because most programs actually sometimes how you know your job very well, but your attitude is not the correct one, is because most of the courses are bent on just the skills that we have, forgetting the human being that does the work. And this is what the program does, because once the human being, me, I am developed, the institution that I work with or the business that I run automatically gets the benefit. And this is why this is so important, and this is why I like when you say this, actually, instead of mindset change, it should add, it enhances productivity, which is very true. On the call, we've got the head of HR at the ministry, Mr. Chilambwe, and we would just like to hear his experience and how he's going to apply this to everyone in the institution, so that we are all thinking alike and we are all able to just dive into the things that we need to be doing. Mr. Chilambwe, welcome to the call. If you can come on camera, if you're in the office, that would even be really good. So welcome, and we are so eager to hear how this program will impact your institution.
Good morning, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm unable to switch on the camera,
Okay.
But nevertheless, I think for us in HR, we are grateful that this program took off, because, like Mr. Mayamba said, we are in charge of the productivity, promoting productivity. And in my view, I think productivity starts with us. But how do we embark on promoting productivity without the mindset change? I think that's a million question for me. So as a department in charge of human resource, this is so grateful. We are so grateful in a way that with the mindset change, we expect that everyone will fine tune their performance toward the set targets and improve on their output, more focused, be more focused, prioritize the work that they are given. And also for us as a department, we'll then put the people in the right jobs, in the right positions. Why? Because we'll be able to measure performance, we'll be able to analyze the skill sets that people have, and we'll be able now to project forward and see if we are meeting the targets. How are we going to do that? It's by setting what I can call some parameters, some variables that we are going to work with in terms of identification of the skill sets that people have. I was amazed to learn that some of our officers, juniors they may be, but they have skills that we can leverage on as a ministry. I think Mr. Mayamba gave an example of one of our drivers who is multi-talented, is a linguistic in a way, because he's able to speak so many languages. And in terms of using him, we can then identify and promote his image within the ministry and also outside. So we have set as a human resource to start identifying these single individuals, single officers within the ministry who have extra talents that the ministry can work on. and also use in the implementation of our mandate as a Ministry of Labor. Because sometimes we go in places where you are talking to these workers and maybe there is a language barrier. So we can use that particular driver to be an interpreter in a particular way. But not only that, as a department, we want to start now some reward system, maybe quarterly, monthly. We promote some kind of competition, but in a way, acknowledge productivity. Because without the mindset change, it's impossible to talk about productivity. It's not even feasible to attain or achieve anything without that mindset change. So I think we are so grateful to Sylvia and this team that they came through, and I think we look forward to positive results within the ministry. I think in a nutshell, our experience as HR within this course will kind of push us forward and perform at an optimal level. I think in a nutshell, that's what I can say.
Thank you so much. This is the organizer of great things. You see, even when we walked in the first day, we had our names written. The following day, he had picked the names and typed them. So we had such a great, and that's a big change that we can we got to say. If he just proved that he's really an organizer of great things, and that's his name. So people at the office, the colleagues, know him as a great organizer of great things, and he gets results done. And we had because we were outside of our premises. Normally we have people train from our premises, but we were training at the ministry. So we leave things. He takes them to his office. We got the flask. He would fill in the water, and we just find everything is really done. So we are so grateful, and that is really a human resource that we can all use of. Recognize and reward other skills and talents outside the core ones at workplace. Awesome approach. Yes, and it is. People recognize their strength. People recognize how they could turn what they don't like or their weakness into an opportunity for us to grow. Because these are the issues that we're talking about. And it was a whole collective thing. When you hear, it's like you had the whole ministry inside in the room. But what we felt like, for me, I was so encouraged. We couldn't even see that the night has really started. They made us feel so welcome. They made us, like it was like you're training ordinary people, but they put the office aside, and this is why actually removing the titles, because once we go into training, we try and remove titles so that people know who you are. Who are you really? Because that's what a mindset change entails. We don't want you to use the office to intimidate others in the learning process. So that also in itself makes people have such a freedom, where they're calling the PS double major. Double major, why? Because he does things in doubles. He is so multitask. He does multitasking as if he's got 4 hands and he's got. So that's what people know, that he can do anything, and so double major fitted into his portfolio. So we learned so much around the things that the ministry is doing, and we're saying we are so blessed, because if that is the ministry that is attached to national productivity, then we are in safe hands. Then we know that things are going to happen, and we encourage them to be able to share, to be able to pick out the the positives, because that was one of the expectations, that they would learn to pick out the positives from individuals, so that they can really know what's going on around that person, so that they don't really, because we don't want them to attach meaning to things that they've got no control over. And they're in a very, very sensitive environment where employer and employee, there are usually these fights between employer and employee. So they know how to manage those things, because they are picking out the best from everyone else. And it starts with an individual. They agreed that, and especially when HR was telling us about how many files they it's so amazing. The HR lead takes care of 15 files in a day. The PS takes care of 45 files in a day. So they learned that these actually files, it's just part of the the admin work that they're doing, but they're doing so many other things. And so even the double major was saying, I was so amazed, because when we started to talk about the activities that they do on page 3 of our workbook, where it entails what is your job description, what are you doing, in your job. Then quickly he sent a message to the PSS, count how many files do I see in a day. We were all shocked that he actually takes care of minimum, or on average, 45 files. And he manages. So that is even more, is thinking what is the best, because each individual in the ministry should hold the missing puzzle. That was the best outcome. Each person in the ministry is a missing puzzle. So we must always find that piece, so that once the piece is placed in the work, everyone does the thing according to the way that they're supposed to be doing. So this is what we had. We've come to it's time. It's time up. I just like to go back to the team and just say one great thing that they would like to share to the world. Just one great thing that they would like to share, and then I'll come and wrap up. So we start with Cyprian, Mr. Mayamba.
Well, thank you very much, and I think I do concur with my colleague, Mr. Chirambwe, who I think has brought out very practical steps he's going to take going forward. For me, we have discovered a template for success. That's what I can say. And I think SBM, this template should not end with the Ministry of Labor and Social Security. Like we said earlier, that poverty elsewhere is poverty also in our house. And so if we are going to indeed transform the way the public service operates, here is a template, very easy template that we can all adopt. For the young people, it's even a very, very timely project to embark on. For young people, this here again is a template for success. For those that are seeking jobs, this is a template. And so for me, this, in my view, is a very practical template for success. So we don't have to, again, start searching in all corners for success. Here we are, we've got a homegrown template for success, suitable for our environment. And if it has worked for others in our environment, then indeed, surely, it can work for all of us. I thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I like that. We've got a template for success. We've got a template for success. That is a very great ending. Maybe everyone who is listening or who is on the call can just type and say, I've got a template for success. We have a template for success, and get to enroll. And we really don't want to just end with with Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor is just our number one institution who has taken up the mantle to help us propagate mindset change throughout our citizenry. So that is so good. Mr. Chilambo, your closing comment.
Thank you so much, Madam Sylvia. And I think I want to thank my brother, my colleague, and I've learned a lot from Mr. Mayamba through the years I've been in the ministry. But I just want to say this. Yesterday, I met with a young person, around 27 years. He came through, he's a job seeker, but apparently he's studying law. And so we had a length chat. And I think in conclusion, we agreed on certain principles of success. And I was telling him to get focused, to be resilient, and also avoid the disturbances that come with social media, that come with, because he's studying law. So I was just telling him to focus on studying and mindset change. So in conclusion, I think for me, my take-home lesson is that success and productivity starts with me. There is no one who is going to change me apart from myself. And so I need to prioritize certain principles in my life that I've seen can work for me, that I've learned from others, that I've worked elsewhere. And this program is a game changer for individuals and corporate entities. The program of mindset change doesn't just focus your life around the work you do. It also helps you at your individual level to improve your relationships within the home and around the community you live. But it is a wheel of life. It has 6 segments. And so each segment comes with challenges, comes with lessons, comes with nuggets of knowledge. And I think for me, we have to embrace all these segments for us to be individuals and officers that are going to make a very big difference. First, in the lives of the people we meet, but also in the ministries or work environments where we are operating. So my encouragement is that if you want to change in the way you think, in the way you do things, in the way you perform, and if you want to improve your performance, for those that haven't taken this course, consider taking this course. It will change your life. It will help you improve your productivity and also improve on your profits. I think for me, that is a take-home lesson that I can share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. We can just give a big clap, say they have encouraged us to have a template for success. So if we all know that this is a template for success, let's get to register, let's get in touch with those numbers that are scrolling at the below there, and we'll be able to actually start our process. It's a process. Change doesn't just happen one time. It is a process so that we can be able to unlearn the things we don't want and put the things that we want to learn as we go. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments. Dear followers, we thank you for waking up. We thank you for joining us today. It's a very special day. And I think after 1 week, we are going to have the PS that failed to log in. I know certain things will need to be taken in place. We left the ministry at 22 hours, and it was really something that people needed to get through. But I am so impressed that they were able to join from wherever they are. This is being ready. This is being ready, as we said. So thank you so much for joining us today. Have a good day.